Where's the road? I hope I make it. Ugh, sleepy. I don't usually film in the morning, but everyone is at church. It's Sunday morning, and I am at the farm alone, and I love being at the farm alone. It's just one of those like relaxing environments, and it's very quiet out here, and it's very serene and winter wonderlandy. And I thought a good way to talk about phase one of my release, which is my direct audiences, would be to talk about showing art to friends and family and how to sort of manage your expectations with that and what sort of things happen. And I released phase one earlier this week. I guess it's only hasn't even been a full week yet, and it's been pretty slow. And I've found that kind of hard to take a little bit. You know, I kind of wish that people would just be all over it. You know, like be eager to support it and to support me. And as a show of support, I'm just gonna go buy this thing right away, and that just really hasn't been the case. I have sold some, but it's really not very many yet. I would like to sell 100 in phase one. I feel like that would be a good start. I do think I'll get there, but it's just going a little bit slower. And I've never done anything like this before, so I don't know how people take it, right? If you have to pay for the movie before you watch it, I think most people are just like, oh, I'll just pay for it right before I'm gonna watch it, right? That's natural. But I was just hoping there would be a bit more like sort of eager support, because when you pay for this movie, you get it for 60 days. You can buy it today and watch it a month from now. That's totally fine. And honestly, with friends and family, I would, you know, even if they bought it and didn't get to it in 60 days, I would probably just extend it for them. Like, it's not, the 60 days is a little bit arbitrary. I just needed a limit, and I thought that would be enough time to get through the movie and the course and the content. I want that support, that excitement. And people have been sharing the posts, and people have been commenting and showing support still. Just not very many are going and buying it. And that's fine. I'm wondering if it's a thing that I need to communicate a little better, if there's some urgency I could put into it. Part of phase one was that I didn't want any urgency, so it's hard to expect urgency from the audience side. And I guess that kind of brings me to like the greater point of, you know, like friends and family truly aren't your audience. You know, I'm further along in my career, and I do have a bit of an audience, people that follow me just to watch my art, just to see my art, just to see my films and my pictures. That's the main reason that they follow me. I've got a lot of people that I've sort of collaborated with along the way, so you know, maybe they're not direct fans, but they are there from the art. That's kind of the gray area. Sometimes I think, oh, like, well, they're followers, they're fans, but the reality is that like they are there from a specific project. They're not necessarily there because they love my work in an ongoing way. I mean, they do, but it's still like there's different ties. And then there's just friends and family that I've known for a long time, and you know, like, they are there sort of out of obligation. They are supporting out of obligation, and some of those situations you really don't know. You really don't know when they genuinely like the art and when they're trying to support you. I find my family, like my mom and my dad and my sister, they either say nothing or say very little, or they sort of say the wrong thing. And it can kind of turn you upside down a little bit. They don't fully understand it. They're not necessarily going to be able to have the conversations that you kind of wish you could have about the art. And they might say things like, oh, well, we should have done it this way, or what do you think about this? And like, you know, I already mentioned, like, my family is at church right now, and I'm not there. And, you know, there's more to that I'm not going to fully dive into, but it comes up in art. I am exploring themes and ideas and concepts that they're not really familiar or comfortable with. And it becomes sort of a thing where the silence has that weight to it, and it's hard to navigate. It's still hard for me to say, oh, I'll just do whatever I want. I'll just make whatever I want and say whatever I need to say without caring about what my family thinks. So anyways, I guess the advice, which I struggle with still, is to do your own thing and to trust that pull, that message that you have to give is legitimate, and it is, people will support it because it's authentic. Yeah, that's the thought. I don't know if this is your situation, but my family aren't really artists. They like art. They enjoy movies. They enjoy music, and I honestly think they kind of maybe regret or wish that they were more artistic and more creative. But my dad is a farmer, and he comes from a long line of farmers. And my mom worked in the hospital, and my sister has done a little bit of creative stuff, but never really pursued it as an art form. More of a sort of like creative services, graphic design, and stuff like that. And they don't really understand what it means to express yourself, and so they don't really understand how to respond to it when someone expresses themselves through art. It's one of those things as an artist where, like, I want people to understand what I'm saying and relate to what I'm saying, but at the same time, I don't want to explain it, and I don't want to justify it, and I don't want to talk about it necessarily. The art is the thing. The art speaks for itself, and it can mean different things to different people. And I was thinking about this last night, where you don't always know what the thing is when you're in it. You often don't know what the thing is when it's happening. And then you can look back at it and sort of say, oh yeah, it meant this, or it means this. But there's a lot of instinct in this. There's a lot of trust in yourself in this art and this life. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to kind of face these things when your support systems can't always give you the support you need as an artist, and you have to find ways to give it to yourself or find more and different support. Yeah. Well, I am back home. Not a bad couple of days at the farm. Kind of a chance to relax and get away from it all. I did have car trouble yesterday, so I had to go get a new battery instead of going to Saskatoon and filming on a podcast. So that was a little bit disappointing, and it kind of, capped things off in a weird way. But I'm happy to be back home, and I've got a new battery in my vehicle. So the cold snap here is supposed to end tomorrow, I think, and then it's kind of nice for a while, so that'll feel good. I know I'm very connected to the weather. I grew up on a farm, and this period of February, especially when it's really cold, it's hard. I just find it really hard to get through. So I think, what I was talking about at the farm there, phase one of my release, and friends and family interacting with my art. And, I think the conclusion really is like phase one probably went about it in a way that I didn't need to. I probably, did it seeking my own comfort and, a little bit of confidence from my direct support groups that, it's nice to have, but when you try to force it, it's just not, it doesn't really work that way. Like, you release something, you hope your friends and family will be the first line of support and excitement, but it's not the way to go, I think. In the end, you have to build an audience of people who are excited themselves, and that audience is a growing, changing thing. Sometimes those people become more familiar and they become sort of like friends, and then for whatever reason, it's hard to get that deep support in a creative release from friends and family. You wish it was different. You wish that you had, a ton of support. If everybody I knew got behind this, then it would be really good for me and for the film. But I've got to find the people for whom the film most resonates with, and that's fine for it not to be my people. It should be its own people. So I'm back here, and I'm ready to keep going. I'm not sure exactly what the next step will be. I'll put out some more content about The Wild, but I will start making moves towards sort of the second phase, which is to get it out regionally, talking to press and media and podcasts and things like that, and just getting a little bit beyond my own audience. That's kind of the next step. And I'm still feeling good about it, but a little bit of an eye-opener in the fact that there wasn't a ton of support from my direct audiences here. So I don't know. I'm just trying to be real on this vlog. So it's a little discouraging to say that it didn't really work the way I had hoped or expected, but I will keep pushing. That's all I know. It's all I got is just to keep pushing. But this stuff happens at every level. Every time I release a film, it's always kind of you think people are going to be really excited, but they have their own lives and they have their own shit going on. And it's actually the rarity when you do get a bunch of support. And the thing is, I did get a lot of support for this film when I released in theaters, over a year ago, from friends and family. So, I've probably just kind of used it up. That's probably the reality, is that for a lot of them, they're sitting there going, well, I saw it, and that's it. That's the end. There's not a second thought. Obviously, I'm hoping there would be some people that are like, yeah, I saw it, but of course I'm going to support Aaron in this release. And then there's people who haven't seen it and have been asking me how to see it. And now I'm like, here, you can see it this way. And I haven't seen it yet. But it's only been a couple weeks, so I don't know what the timeline is like, but I am hoping things change around a little bit soon. I don't know. It hasn't been what I hoped it would be. I guess I should wrap this up. Yeah, in conclusion, art's hard, man. It's hard to be an artist. It's hard to be a filmmaker. People don't do what you want them to do. People don't respond the way you think they should. And you just got to keep going. That's all you can really do, is just keep pushing. So